Hola Bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic. I'm Magic Mel and this is Owl, my spirit guide. So, this is episode 20 of season 4 and I felt so inclined in making this video as a direct sequel to my emotional state yesterday. So if you remember from episode 19, I shared how I was feeling heavy and I was working through some heaviness that was coming up and that wanted to be held and released. And I was reflecting on what I said now, the fact that I wanted to feel liberated, I wanted to feel expansive again, that I was longing to go home or be home, because home is this expansiveness in us. When we connect to our source, it feels expansive, it feels loving. Loving is expansiveness, no? So I was kind of longing for that. At the same time, I also said that I was trying to honor the heaviness, this feeling of constriction I was in. And I want to add on that and really highlight that absolutely, even if we know how to transmute feelings of, let's say, low vibrational emotions, maybe shame, anger, it's not to eliminate those feelings. It's really to release them. Let me use the right words. I've come across this term toxic positivity, where we're like, oh no, I can't be feeling this way. I have to change it. It's not acceptable that I feel down. I should be feeling differently. And then we kind of deny and reject that feeling state, which creates conflict because it creates resistance. So I want to highlight that it's actually the variety, the entire scale of emotions that we as humans go through. It's that capacity to go up and down the scale which makes us human. The trick is perhaps not to fall victim to one particular state. And although maybe in a very utopian ideal sense, it would be nice to always ride the bliss wave and to be like always in expansion and joy, the truth is that it's very hard to maintain. Or maybe not, I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there is capable of always being in the frequency of joy. I'm definitely trying that. But I wanted to avoid this striving for perfection, which is something very deep-seated in me personally. A former version of myself was always striving for perfection, was always trying to prove my worth, be it through achievements, be it to being the perfect fill in the blanks, perfect daughter, the perfect sister, the perfect girlfriend. And by doing that, I was actually abandoning myself. It was not accepting myself and looking outward for somebody to approve of me, while I inside wasn't able to do that. So I consciously want to avoid perfectionism, toxic perfectionism, because it doesn't honor the wholeness of me. And I'm totally pro striving daily, moment by moment, for improvement, but this is not about perfection. This is really about accepting all of our parts. And it may be easier to accept our consciously likable parts. It feels harder to accept those parts that we don't approve of in ourselves. And that can be feelings of jealousy, feelings of, there are aspects in the shadow meaning where the light of our consciousness has not shed on yet. And often it's difficult to really accept and make space for the rejected parts of us. I definitely feel it's my ego that cannot accept sometimes that I can be good and bad at the same time. My ego wants to be seen as good. It highly disapproves of aspects of myself that are less than perfect, that are flawed. But that is the ego, no? The ego is the part that wants to be right. And this brings me actually also to another topic I wanted to talk about, that of resonance. You know, there's this saying, we should follow what resonates. I absolutely agree. Sometimes, though, we follow what resonates, and it leads us down, what do you call it? Eine Sackgasse in German. A dead end. It leads us to a dead end. And we're like, what the hell? I thought I was following what resonated. Why am I suffering? Why am I in pain? Well, sometimes when we follow what resonates, we are being led to a lesson that we need to learn. That might not feel pleasant, that might actually bring tremendous pain, but that is needed for us to grow in the bigger picture, to become more self-aware in the bigger scheme of things. So we should definitely always follow what resonates, because it will always lead us to expansion. It will lead us to expansion. Hurtful, painful, or not painful. But on the other side, on the flip side, I feel it's also good to analyze or to reflect on what does not resonate. Because sometimes what doesn't resonate, if something is in dissonance to what we feel and think is right, is actually our ego disapproving of the outer manifestation, or what is being said, or an opinion, or maybe a feedback we got from somebody, a friend, a family member, and we feel it doesn't resonate, but not because it's not for us. It doesn't resonate because we reject it. Our ego cannot accept that feedback because it feels criticized, it feels attacked. So the topic of resonance is very important. Very, very important. There's so much if we really slow down and invest time in processing what happens to us every day, there's a lesson in every single encounter. I'm definitely, with this new moon in Virgo, making space. As you know, I decluttered my physical space, but also I'm spending time to reflect, to regroup, to reflect, to journal, to process things, to realign, to filter, to really also look at the stories I tell myself and ask myself, does this still serve you? Or is this old material? And just as making goals and following our desire is important, the time to regroup and reflect is just as important. Because, I mean, we know it. Even during the day, our conscious mind cannot process everything. That's why it's important to listen, to build a relationship with our dreams, because our unconscious then goes through all these experiences, all this information that we're being bombarded with in our waking life, and it processes and reconstructs a maybe deeper meaning that our conscious mind cannot grasp yet. So we know we are overstimulated and we cannot process everything at the same time. So to consciously, intentionally create space to reflect on things and to integrate and to pause and regroup is, just like the seasons, is vital for the next season to come up, to unfold. And I spoke yesterday about one of my tools for transmuting heaviness or pain or sadness or pessimism is gratitude. So I actually wrote down yesterday a list of just kind of milestones in my journey to really consciously hold in my awareness how far I've come. And again, there's always this notion, ooh, what's next? What's next? I'm really valuing this time now to appreciate, yes, to make, goals and see what the next unfolding or expansion is and where I want to set my energy and attention and time, but also to look back and take stock of how far I've come. And that also helps to feel grounded, to feel peaceful again, to feel accomplished right here, right now, without grasping for the future event. So definitely, guys, in September, if you can take some time out and have a conversation with yourself, journal. This is also helping me because I'm expressing my thoughts. I'm verbalizing my thoughts. But journaling is also important. They say the most important relationship is the one we have with ourselves. No, and that's true. Going back to this notion of dissonance or conflict, maybe, that we experience in outer situations, often that dissonance is a reflection or manifestation of some kind of inner discord. If we really take this notion of we are the creators of our reality seriously, and the notion that we are projecting our perceptions and our subjectivity outward, thus creating what we experience, then when we experience conflict or dissonance, it's really time to look inwards, because nothing can exist out there without it first being in our inner world. What we cannot accept in another is something we cannot accept in ourselves. Or, I can't remember who said it, but is it from the Bible? The one who is without sin should cast the first stone. Meaning, nobody's innocent here. Although at the same time, in the bigger picture, we are. But what we may criticize or reject in another is something we ourselves have experienced. For example, if we are, in my experience, my recent experience, I felt hurt or disappointed by somebody ghosting me. But then I really had to look at myself. Like, Melanie, don't tell me you haven't ghosted someone yourself before. And I really tried to track back, and yeah, I found instances where I ghosted people. So you say you cannot forgive the person who ghosted you. Well, you should first make amends with yourself, because you were the one who also ghosted someone in the past. And if you can forgive yourself, then you can forgive the other. Forgiving in anyways an act for ourselves, because it's quite a heavy burden to carry resentment inside. It's an energetic block also. So if we forgive, we give ourselves the freedom, we liberate ourselves from that baggage, emotional baggage. But my point was really, it's necessary to reflect on ourselves. And although we perhaps cannot have a 360 perspective on ourselves, there's always going to be some kind of blind spot. Hence, human relations are so important, because other people reflect perhaps that which we cannot see in ourselves. But there's also great value in intentionally spending time to observe our own thoughts, beliefs, and actions, our interactions with others, our conflicts with others, because there's always a lesson to be gained. And there's always something to be learned from that lesson about ourselves. Let's remember that this is our life. No one is leading it for us. Our life is a great opportunity for self-discovery, like shedding layers of what we thought we were, what our ego is, what our true self is, who we want to be. I mean, it's a great opportunity to become who we really feel we are in our true identity and who we want to be. And we can only know who we want to be if we are quite clear on who we do not want to be, or those aspects that are perhaps dormant in us, but which we do not want to consciously water. For example, the seed of anger, the seed of hatred. So it's a way of filtering and deciding, not deciding, also slicing that which we want to belong to us and that which we decide is not. But always with the awareness that the potential for any aspect is within us. Good, evil, likable, non-likable. Yeah, in the end we're all one. So even if we witness something that we dislike in the exterior, in the 3D world, that something is a potential thought, a manifestation of potential thought that was also lying dormant in us, or perhaps lying in our unconscious and was projected outwards. So we're all connected and we're all responsible for everything that happens around us. It's big topics, but yeah, I'm really also honoring this time I have and I'm taking to make these reflections. I'm spending a lot of time to sort out my inner world and to really build a strong inner foundation, because in my experience, a past version of me was lacking a strong inner foundation. And as I shared with you, I spent all my energy and time grasping for outer building blocks, or an outer foundation, an outer anchor. And all the while I was just building a house of cards, because the inner, the true foundation was lacking. And that house of cards came crashing down inevitably, because it did not have roots anchored in myself, in my core. So I'm very much conscious since 2021 in consciously choosing and building a strong inner fortress and roots that go deep down through meditation, through prayer, through gratitude, through connecting with the higher power. Call it him, her, whatever you may. Because it's that inner anchoring that provides me with safety. No outer security can make up for a sense of inner safety. And that inner safety comes from a wider vision and a connectedness with my higher self, with God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it. And the awareness that there is more to this than the 3D reality. And at the same time, I do not want to downplay the 3D reality. Yesterday also, I was reflecting what I said yesterday with, it's almost like I was wishing to escape myself, my body. And that is another thing which I'm working on consciously avoiding or processing, because I don't believe in a spirituality that is au-delà, that is somewhere out there. No, I believe in a spirituality that is embodied. The body is our vehicle to bring down spirit, and our vehicle to lift matter up to spirit. There's no that versus this, or this better than that, the mind versus the heart. I really am consciously working on integrating and being grounded and present, and not escaping myself, not escaping my emotions, my feelings. And it's difficult. It really takes courage. I'm maybe not always successful, but I'm trying. And also, I really want to honor the fact that everything is spiritual. This medium here is spiritual. Our connectedness is spiritual. The stone the tree, what we eat, animals, the cars, everything is made up of spirit. So the other dimensions are not better than the 3D reality. This is a vehicle, this is an opportunity, this is a gift to be here. And the other dimensions exist actually at the same time. We just kind of were able to tune into them, into those frequencies or out. Again, huge talent we have as human beings if only we're aware of our capacity to embody these different frequencies or to access these different or connect with these different frequencies. So I really want to honor the 3D, the body, my feelings, my health, the needs of my body, the needs for rest, nutrition. And speaking of nutrition, it's not only the food we eat, but the thoughts we nurture ourselves with, our mind. Are we giving our mind rest? You know, it's such a wonderful tool. Are we nurturing our minds also? I mean, with food, with rest, with constructive thinking, with expansive thinking. But are we also honoring our negative states, our down times, our need for rest? Are we balancing our feminine, creative, intuitive, nurturing parts and the masculine, assertive, protective, providing part? It's really becoming more and more for me this exploration of different facets of the one, and constantly holding in awareness that everything is the one. We're all manifestations of the one. And this is what creates variety. And what a beautiful world with variety. I mean, my greatest nightmare is having this homogeneous world where there's no difference and no choices and no, you know, where we cannot choose what preferences we personally have. That's why everyone's voice is also important, no? There might be people out there who don't like my particular way of saying things, and that's fine. They will resonate with somebody else's message, somebody else's voice, that's fine. The important thing is for us, each one of us, to share our voice as truthful as possible, because you never know who might resonate with it and who might connect with it. Our responsibility is to voice and to output, to do the creative output, and then detach from the outcome. Yeah. In any case, those are my reflections for today. I've said enough. I feel complete. So today, no cards. This was a little bit of a different, more of a monologue. I'm always open for any reflections you may have. If something resonates with you, or if something doesn't resonate with you but you'd like to discuss it, you can always leave a comment in the comments box down below. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. This was episode 19 of season 4. I've got 4 seasons already of Mel's Magic. You can check the other videos out. There might be something in there that resonates with you. They're timeless in their message. And yeah, I'm Magic Mel. This is Al, my spirit guide, and my channel is Mel's Magic. If you like my video, I appreciate if you hit the like button, if you share with friends or subscribe, so you'll see more of my videos. And yeah, grateful to be here. And calling in the virtues, because they are, of patience, perseverance, courage, and self-compassion for myself, for you, and for all of us, because we're all connected, no? So infinite love and infinite gratitude. Stay tuned for episode 20 coming soon. Ciao.